Welcome to SH English Story. For years, the world's attention has been focused on India. It is a nation of immense potential, a demographic powerhouse with the largest youth population on the planet. The narratives are everywhere. India as the next economic engine, a rising technology hub, and a key strategic player on the global stage. The speed of its growth is a marvel, with impressive economic indicators that dazzle analysts and investors alike. But what if the story is far more complex? What if this incredible speed is not matched by a stable foundation? What if beneath the surface of soaring headlines and booming markets, deep-seated structural problems are threatening to undermine this progress? Today, we will go beyond the headlines to explore a profound paradox: the apparent triumph of rapid growth set against the quiet crisis of structural instability, which could determine whether India truly ascends to a position of global leadership or remains an unrealized giant. To truly understand the present, we must first look to the past. The seeds of India's current economic and social challenges were sown decades ago in the choices made following its independence. Early policies, while often well-intentioned, focused on large-scale, state-controlled industries and a top-down, elite-driven education system. This approach prioritized the development of a small, highly skilled intellectual class, while large-scale, foundational reforms in areas like education and land ownership for the majority of the population were either incomplete or poorly implemented. This created a fundamental disconnect: a highly capable elite driving technological and service sector growth, while a vast majority of the population remained undereducated and underemployed. The lack of a robust, mass-market education system and widespread access to skills training meant that while the upper echelons of society thrived, the benefits of growth did not filter down to the majority. This historical trajectory left a legacy of inequality and a structural weakness in a key resource: its human capital. The focus on service sector and financial industries, which attracted significant investment, often came at the expense of developing a strong manufacturing base capable of creating jobs on a massive scale. This has left the economy with a growth engine that is powerful but not inclusive, and it's a structural imbalance that continues to define India's modern economic narrative. This historical legacy manifests today as a series of profound economic contradictions. On the one hand, a macroeconomic view of India is overwhelmingly positive. Financial conditions are improving, corporate profits are rising, and key indicators of economic health are robust. This is the India that foreign investors see, a dynamic and promising market ripe for opportunity. On the other hand, a more concerning reality exists at a granular level. The nation faces a significant and persistent unemployment problem, particularly among the educated youth. A large number of university and even high school graduates are struggling to find jobs that match their qualifications, a direct consequence of the historical underinvestment in a universal high-quality education system. The skills they possess often do not align with the demands of modern industries, creating a supply and demand mismatch that is only growing more acute. This structural flaw means that even as the economy expands, a substantial portion of its workforce remains marginalized and unproductive. The political system also contributes to this challenge. Due to a constant cycle of elections at various levels of government, political leaders often prioritize short-term gains over long-term, productive investments. Funds that could be used for building infrastructure, modernizing education, or supporting innovation are instead funneled into populist welfare schemes and temporary subsidies, which may provide immediate relief but do little to address the fundamental issues that impede sustainable, inclusive growth. The result is an economy that is growing quickly in terms of gross domestic product, but lacks the qualitative maturity and a stable foundation for the benefits of that growth to be shared equitably among all. The perception of a strong domestic market, often cited as a key driver of India's growth, is also not as solid as it appears. While consumer spending seems to be expanding, a closer look reveals that much of this growth is not being fueled by a proportional increase in stable income. Instead, it is being propped up by a rapid increase in consumer credit and personal debt. Households are increasingly taking on loans to maintain their lifestyles and make purchases, from cars to everyday goods. This rising tide of household debt is a significant risk factor. When incomes do not keep pace with the costs of living and debt repayment, it can lead to financial distress, loan defaults, and a dangerous instability within the financial system. This is a fragile foundation for domestic consumption and could make the entire economy vulnerable to even minor external shocks. This fragility is compounded by a surge in speculative financial activities. From a rapid rise in stock trading to a significant increase in options trading, there is a clear trend towards short-term, high-risk financial behavior. While this can contribute to the appearance of a vibrant market, it also creates an environment ripe for bubbles and market instability. Many individuals, driven by the desire for quick returns and the promise of a better life, are engaging in these risky activities without adequate financial literacy or a safety net. This can lead to significant social problems, including debt collection issues and financial ruin for those who lose their bets. The combination of a debt-fueled consumer market and a speculative financial environment means that what appears to be a healthy, expanding domestic economy may, in fact, be built on a house of cards, where a sudden downturn could trigger a chain reaction of defaults and financial turmoil. While these internal issues fester, India finds itself at a unique and historically significant moment on the global stage. Recent geopolitical shifts have provided a significant, albeit temporary, tailwind. The growing rivalry between the United States and China has positioned India as a more attractive partner for Western nations seeking to diversify their supply chains and find an alternative to Chinese manufacturing. Additionally, its position on international issues, such as maintaining trade relations with Russia despite sanctions, has allowed it to secure crucial energy imports at favorable prices. These geopolitical advantages have certainly contributed to its positive economic narrative. However, they are not a substitute for deep-seated domestic reform. This is particularly true when considering the issue of human capital. India has a vast pool of intelligent and ambitious people, but its brightest minds often seek opportunities abroad, leading to a significant brain drain. They are drawn to countries with more robust educational institutions, stable job markets, and better infrastructure. This flow of talent represents a lost opportunity for India to harness its own intellectual resources to solve its pressing problems. Furthermore, while the world watches India's ascent, the nation still grapples with significant internal conflicts and social divisions. From regional and religious tensions to widespread social inequality, these issues pose a constant threat to national stability. A true global power must not only be economically strong, but also socially cohesive and politically stable, and India still has significant work to do on these fronts. The challenge, therefore, is to leverage its current geopolitical advantage as a window of opportunity to implement the foundational reforms needed to address its internal vulnerabilities.